Hi, this is Helena, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing 7 signs that a man is stringing you along or potentially wasting your time. I keep getting questions from women here in my community on YouTube who are in situations where a man seems attracted to her and seems interested on some level, but something about his behavior is a little confusing to her, and she's not quite sure if he's serious about her or what his true intentions are. So hopefully this video will help you out and give you some clarity if you're in this situation yourself. But before I get started, make sure to click the button to subscribe to get all of my videos on how to have the relationship you've always wanted. So I'm going to be sharing these 7 signs that a man is wasting your time, and make sure to stay till the end of this video because I'm going to be sharing my top 2 tips for what to do if you're in this situation where a man is displaying some of these signs. So make sure to watch this whole video to get those 2 tips at the end. And I'm just going to jump right in today. The first sign that a man is stringing you along and wasting your time is he flat out tells you that he's not ready for a relationship right now. Now, this one seems a little obvious. Some of these other signs are much more subtle, but I can't tell you how many women I hear from where, they're attracting men who are fresh out of another relationship or they're newly divorced, and they're just flat out telling her as clearly as they possibly can that they can't give her what she wants right now, or they're not ready for a serious relationship. And you don't want to be waiting around in that situation. The last thing you want to do is be waiting for a man who's clearly stated that he can't give you what you want right now. So that's the first one. I just wanted to mention that because it sounds obvious, but you wouldn't believe how many women are kind of hanging around men because they have such strong feelings for him, even though he's told her that, he's not ready for the kind of relationship that she's truly looking for. So the next sign that a man is stringing you along or wasting your time is that he just is too busy to fit you into his schedule right now. This one is so important. I just hear from so many women who are in this situation too. They say a man's really busy with work. He's really stressed out right now. And I've truly found that if a man is into you, he prioritizes the relationship. It's just a fact, right? If he's telling you and showing you what his priorities are. So if he is interested in you and wants a relationship and is ready to prioritize that, he's going to make time for you even if he's busy. So you don't want to be making excuses for men or just hanging on to men who are only able to fit you into their schedule like once or twice a month, right? You want to make sure that you're keeping your options open, making yourself available to a man who is truly available for the kind of relationship that you really desire. The third sign is that his answer is always maybe. When you ask to get together or you're trying to see when the two of you are free, if his answer is always something like, maybe, I'll get back to you, work's really crazy right now, that might work, I'll let you know, and then he kind of lets you know last minute, it's a sign that he's just kind of stringing you along if you start to feel like a backup plan for him, especially. Now, of course, sometimes men are busy, so just because a man does one or more of these things one time just out of the blue doesn't mean he's wasting your time. You want to really use your intuition here, but if he's always telling you that he's so busy, and especially this third one, if his answer is always maybe, or I'll let you know, or I'll get back to you, it's a sign that he's really not prioritizing you, and he could potentially be stringing you along and wasting your time. So it's really important. You don't want to be a backup plan or just his last minute, it kind of feels like a booty call, especially if a man's just asking you out very last minute, late at night. You want to make sure that he is definitely prioritizing you and progressing the relationship, right? He's progressing the amount of time that he's spending with you over the first few months, and beyond in dating and relationships. So the next sign is that he doesn't prioritize one-on-one time with you. This is something I've been seeing a lot lately in the comment sections of some of my videos. It kind of goes along with some of these earlier signs. If a man, says he has a party to go to and he'll hang out with you afterwards, or you just kind of feel like an afterthought or a last-minute backup plan. So if a man's truly interested and he wants to pursue you for a real relationship, he's going to prioritize one-on-one time with you. Every time you get together won't just be like a group situation. He's going to want to get you all to himself. So that's really important to look out for. Number 5 is so important, and it's that there are other women in the picture, period, right? So if a man is hung up on his ex, or he's dating someone else and he's trying to decide between the two of you, or a man from his past has come back around and now he's confused and he doesn't know what he wants, there's just no way on earth that's ever going to feel good to you. I mean, that certainly would never feel good to me. I would never tolerate something like that, right? So of course, if a man has children with his ex, so she's going to be a part of his life, that's a different situation. But if a man has his romantic energy going out towards other women, to me, that's a huge sign that he just can't possibly be the right man for you, at least not right now, right? You want a man who knows what he wants and who's coming after it, a man who's pursuing you and who wants to be with you and only you, not men who has his eggs, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket if, he has his energy all spread out, going towards other women. So important. Number 6 is also something I've been hearing a lot lately, and that is if he's broken things off before. Now, of course, if something happens and maybe before you come to, this work and material and you didn't know you were pushing him away and a man's backed off before, and then, things shift and then they heal and you guys move forward, that's a different story. I'm talking about situations where, I keep hearing from women who say, he's broken up with me 3 or 4 times already this year, right? Or every time a man gets too close, he backs off. He just can't tolerate intimacy and closeness. So if the undercurrent of all your interactions is he comes towards you, then he backs off. He's hot and cold. He, pursues you really strongly, and then you don't hear from him for a few days or a few weeks. That's a sign that he just can't possibly be the right man for you, in my opinion. So if he's broken up or backed off once, okay, that's a little bit of a red flag, truly. But if this is something that just keeps happening over and over and over, I would say that I don't know if I've ever seen a situation like that really work out in the end and have the two of them end up together. So typically a man knows what he wants, and if the dynamic is right and things are easy and flowing, that's not going to happen. So that's something to watch out for. If you're just constantly walking on eggshells, or you're so on edge because you feel like you can make one wrong move and a man's gonna leave or abandon you, big sign that you're really just wasting your own time if you keep letting a man like that back around, right? And number 7 is something that's really important too, and that is just simply if your intuition just tells you that you just feel like you're always waiting for this man. I've certainly been in situations like this. I've been in all of these situations in my past. That's how I know so much about this. I'm very familiar with this type of man who just kind of wants to string you along, right? Men are happy to spend time with you, and they might really like you, and they'll take everything you have to offer, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's moving towards the committed relationship you want. So deep down, if your intuition is telling you that you just always feel like you're waiting for this man, or he just feels slippery, like you can't quite get a grip, you don't know where you stand with him, it's a huge sign that he's just stringing you along and most likely wasting your time. So if a man is displaying any one of these 7 signs, or usually if he's displaying one, he's displaying several of them, here are my top 2 tips on what to do. The first one is just embodying this mindset that you want the men who were just stringing you along to fade away. So much of the time we feel, like I mentioned, that man who's just kind of slippery, like you can't quite get a hold of him. We want to do things to try to keep him in our lives. We want to try and keep that connection active and alive. But what you really truly want to do is embody the attitude that it's a good thing if those men fade away. You want them to fade away and stop wasting your time, right? So basically you want to just embody gratitude in advance for the men who are just not going to step up and take you all the way to the committed relationship you want. If they fade away, you want to be grateful, right? You don't want to feel this sense of longing for them and pining for them. You want to feel happy that they basically disqualified themselves and, let you know with their actions, sometimes their words, but usually they let you know with their actions that you're not a priority to them, so you can move on. Right? Now, of course, it would be nice if, all men were super straightforward and they sat you down and they just let you know that, they're not interested enough to commit to a real relationship. But often men like this tend to just kind of fade out, and you actually want that to happen. You want to see that as a good thing. You want to see that as getting you one step closer to the relationship you want with the perfect man for you, who would never do any of these things, right? So that's the first step, embodying the mindset of gratitude for men fading away who aren't right for you. They're weeding themselves out. You want to think of it as them disqualifying themselves and making things really easy for you because you can just move forward. The next tip I have, if you're in this situation where a man is stringing you along, is just simply not choosing or zeroing in on any one particular man who hasn't shown you with his actions, his consistent action over time, that he's serious and he has what it takes and he's ready to prioritize a relationship with you. Basically, it's not making someone a priority if you're only an option to them. I've seen that quote so many times. It's such a great quote. It's, never make someone a priority if you're only an option to them, something along those lines. And it's so true, if you can basically let a man show you and prove to you that he's serious about you, he wants to move things forward, you're the only woman in his life, and he's gonna, take you towards that life and that commitment that you want in your relationship, then you can choose him, right? You don't want to choose him prematurely and just zero in on him and wait around endlessly hoping that he'll, if you're good enough or if you do all the right things, he'll suddenly magically turn into this man who's ready and available and interested enough to prioritize a potential relationship with you. So that's what I have to share with you today. Just wanted to come on and try and make a quick video on this topic because I keep getting questions about this, and hopefully this will help you catch these red flags right away so you don't waste your own time anymore on men who just aren't available or ready or interested enough to prioritize you and progress the relationship or potential relationship. So I'd love to hear from you. Let me know down below in the comment section, is the man in question here displaying one or more of these signs? Have you experienced any of these in the past? I know I certainly have, all of them. And what I'd really like to hear is from the women who have let go of men who were just wasting their time only to attract an amazing high quality man who was right around the corner. I love hearing from you. It's so inspiring to hear your stories, from any women who's in a situation where they were able to let go and detach from a man who was wasting their time, and then they attracted something wonderful, or they just felt so happy and secure within themselves and free of all this stress, in these relationships where it's just never really gonna work out. So I love hearing from you always. Let me know your experiences with this down below in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to check out my 3 keys to attract the man you want report and audio training. It's totally free on my website, helenahartcoaching.com. I'll post a link to that in the description. Just click the title of this video and it's the first link right under that. You can go get that for free. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video.